I found that song the other day. I was at a Christian bookstore in Lee Summit, Missouri, and I bought a Guy Penrod CD, and that song was on it. And I said, wrote to Kenneth, I said, this would be a good song for us. And he looked it up. He said, do you want it for this week? And I thought, why not? So Kenneth put that together with a few rewrites. I just changed a couple of pronouns to suit unity. But otherwise, I think it's a great song. Clearly, you Christians like it. We're getting more Christian all the time. It's an itchy word in unity. Now, who heard the lyrics? Who actually heard the lyrics? Did the choir hear the lyrics? Because often the minister doesn't hear what's being said. And it's exactly what you guys talked about. Would I trade my sorrow for joy? Would I trade my pain for joy? Would I trade this stuff that I have, my complaints? Would I trade my grudge against my neighbor? We're talking about Moses today. That's our topic. The Moses and the first 3 commandments. We don't have time for all 10 today, but the first 3 go together very well. And let's see if we have time for the first 3. But the commandments, these 10 commandments, we're continuing on in our Exodus journey. Because remember, Exodus is to come out of our pain, come out of our confusion. And these 10 commandments, what I like about them, all the thou shalt nots. And then our friend Emmett Fox says, actually, it's not thou shalt not, it's thou canst not. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Well, if there's one power and one presence as the universe and as my life, you can't have another God. If there's only one, you cannot have 2. Are we clear on that? Yeah. If there is only one, you cannot have 2. Now, Georgiana Tree West, in her book, Prosperity's 10 Commandments, she talks about these as being cardinal laws. Cardinal laws meaning these are the foundation laws that other laws depend on for their being. And so you look at these 10 commandments, because remember, what we're looking at is an uncivilized culture. And Moses had an inspiration. And the way it's written out is he heard the voice of God. What's odd is he's the only one who was hearing it from the bush and what have you. He's the only one hearing the voice. So clearly he had an inspiration, whether he wanted to do the job or not. He was just compelled to do it, to lead. And we have a lot of symbolism. We have the burning bush, we have Mount Sinai and smoke, we have so much stuff going on. But if you look at the circumstances, we had a lot of uncivilized people. And what they're trying to do is bring them into some out of their unruly ways where they did not have a concern for each other. They really didn't have an understanding of their own nature, and to bring them into some sort of understanding of who they actually are. It's not dissimilar of what needs to be done a lot today. Even amongst us wonderfully cultured people, we can forget who we are. With one good grudge will completely take us out of our divine nature. A bout of sickness can take us out of our divine nature. Our mother can take us out of our divine nature. A pushy spouse could take us out of our divine nature. So Moses, and fortunately, politics cannot take us out of our divine nature. So we're all safe on that one, aren't we? And anyway, so here's Moses, and in the story, what I love is he gets these 10 commandments. And then he goes up into the smoke, up to the top of the mountain. And what he tells the people is, just stay there. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. I'll be back. Well, he's away for 40 days and 40 nights, which is a transition of fulfillment, of completion. During that time, they did something. They melted all their gold down because they needed a big fake god. They needed a statue of God to worship because it was too much to go within and know their divinity within themselves. So Moses comes back, and that's where the graven, thou shalt make no graven image. It'd be like me going to Unity Village and coming back, and suddenly this is a campaign headquarters. Unity Center becomes a campaign headquarters because we need something here. There's nobody pointing the way. You know what? Let's try this, and let's do this, and let's do this, and going a little insane with it all. Now, so in this first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Now, Georgiana Tree West, Prosperity's 10 Commandments. The first one is, thou shalt look to no other source but God for thy prosperity, for thy good. Thou shalt look to no other. I need the page here because I don't remember. Yeah, no graven images. Second one, and then Georgiana's is, I make no mental images of lack. Do we see? Now, to abstain from doing that, one would have to interrupt and go back to the first principle, which is there's only one power and one presence as the universe and as my life. If there is only one power and one presence as the universe and as my life, there's nothing missing from my life. There is no absence of any good thing. No absence of any good thing, except what I would create as an image of lack in my mind. And we do it, but we don't have to hate ourselves for having done it. There's no cause for guilt, there's no cause for shame. It's just like, oh, that's what I did there, because I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking with my divine nature. I just forgot. I just simply forgot to remember. And if that's all it is, then I can start to remember again. I'm driving down the road and a car cuts me off. I might forget for a moment, but in the next moment I can remember again. And that's what's great about this. And then you get that third one there. Shall not take the Lord's name in vain. But that's not about swearing. That's about claiming something against your divine nature. And I was always telling you, the misuse of our I am quality. You know, and so we do not affirm I am sick, we do not affirm I am poor, we do not affirm I am anything less than divine. Now, should we forget, all we have to do is remember. We don't have to hate ourselves for a moment. Oh no, I forgot, now I fouled it up, and now I'm not divine, now God's mad at me. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with remembering. It's like being in meditation, and you know, you're focused on your mantra, whatever you're doing. God is, I am, God is, I am. What am I going to have for dinner tonight? Whatever. And it's not about, oh my God, I lost place. No, it's to gently bring yourself back. I'm going to have dinner, I'm going to roast beef. God is, I am, God is, I am. I can't believe she did that to me in 3rd grade. God is, I am, God is, I am. You know, it's the art of gently bringing yourself back to what you know to be true. And that's all that it is. That's what I love about that. See, thou canst not destroy oneself because one is naturally whole. One is naturally complete. We all are. We've just chosen a journey in this physical form with these thoughts and these experiences. I don't know why. That has not yet been revealed to me. But I am very clear we're all on a journey of awakening. And we're not trying to get there. Let's be very clear on that. Because I think that's one of the most frustrating parts of this journey is I keep thinking, I can just get there, I'll be okay. And then I get there and then I'm here. I try to get there, and where am I? I'm here. So what it tells me is the truth must be here, not there. And so if I'm here, I'm here. And if I'm here, I'm here. And if I'm here, I'm here. So you see, I'm not trying to get to the then, I'm trying to get to the now. And now, it doesn't matter what I have done. It's how can I take it and use it for my good now. You know, I've alchemized my past, as I've talked about. I've alchemized a tremendous amount of my past into gold, quite frankly, just into an amazing present on so many levels, you know, until I forget. And then I have moments of I'm back in the wilderness trying to find my way out and looking and building statues and blaming, and I'm setting fires and there's smoke everywhere. I try, and then we eventually collapse because we're so embarrassed that we forgot. It's like, oh, I can't believe I forgot. I knew the truth. Now I can't get home. And then all of a sudden I have a memory of something and I'm back home. It's all so simple. Number 3 in Prosperity's 10 Commandments is, I speak no word of limitation. Might be the hardest of all. Because our proclamations about what we think are so important to us, aren't they? Especially the proclamations of what I hate. I want to proclaim to the world what is wrong with the world, so the world will see how smart I am, that I know everything wrong about the world. That I know everything wrong about you. I know everything wrong about them. I know everything wrong about the weather, and the floor, and the ceiling, and the sky. My past, my mother's past, that stupid Adam and Eve. I know what's wrong about all of them. And I think it's going to make me look smart. If I can, we have a big chat. I always said, if my mother and I had only said nice things about other people, we'd have had very short conversations. No, we wanted to show how smart we were by knowing what was wrong with the neighbors. Now, we're not hateful people for that. We were lonely people for that. And we weren't happy people for that. Because when I maintain the forgetting, and I start maintaining the misuse of the word, and I build graven images, lack and limitation, I miss out on joy. It's not that God is withholding the joy, it's that I just have put it in the back closet for a little bit. When I'm worried about the highway, when I'm worried about the airway, when I'm worried about you and me and money and health and wisdom and whatever else. Anything else I can't really change. When I'm worried about it, I put joy to the side. 10 Commandments are an opportunity to experience great joy. And it starts with the realization, I can't have another God. Because there is only one power and one presence as the universe and as my life. If there is only one, I can't have two. I can only have the illusion of two. And that's our big break. Oh, it was just an illusion, this other stuff. It was something I made up. Well, if I come back here to now, there's nothing missing. And hopefully I could get all of you to agree with me. Right here, right now, there is nothing missing in our lives. Right here, right now. Now some could say, but my rent isn't paid. Is it due now? Is it due this second? It might be due when you get home, but is it due this second, in this minute, where I sit? No. No, nobody's coming. I've yet to see somebody come into this sanctuary and ask for money, except me. But no one has ever come up to somebody, "Psst, can I talk to you outside? You owe me the rent." Nobody with a big mustache. It's a... There is no good thing missing right now. And so now is when I can have my awakening for when life is going to happen later. Now is when I see. Teresa told me a story that last Sunday she was up here singing and she could barely get through the words because she could only see God in every person in the room, and it overwhelmed her. Because that's now in the present. There's no absence of any good thing, no matter what. I can't find an enemy. I can't find an attacker. All I see is light. Years ago I was on a subway. It was the A train. And it was a Monday afternoon. about 4 o'clock. I'd just come from therapy, of all things. Imagine me needing therapy. And I was coming up from West 4th Street, and I've only had this experience once in my life, and I looked around that train, and I knew every single person was me. I was as clear as anything that everybody on that train was me. And I thought very quickly, I better find something good about every person on this train. It will not pay me to criticize or mock anyone on this train. I have to find, because the looks were so varied. Everybody looked so different. And I thought, but they're me. Me, the one in boots, that the soles were this thick. You know, and I remember that would have braids down to weird, like multicolored braids down to here. And I thought, that's me. And then the homeless guy over there, well, that was me. And then this one was me. And that woman over there was me. And I was so clear on it. And I thought, find something good in every single person you see. Find something to compliment in your mind's eye. Because we canst not. Thou canst not have any other God before me. Thou canst not take the Lord's name in vain. Because you see, the Lord is always going to be the Lord, because the law is always going to be the law. Truth is always going to be true. Love is always going to be love. And I am always going to be what I am. Am I clear on that? I am always going to be what I am. Could we say that together? I am always going to be what I am. Let's say it again. I am always going to be what I am. And one more time. I am always going to be what I am. Thank God.